Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest transfer rumours and gossip, so potentially more things is currently updated in the press. And today on this video I'm going to be potentially updating you with some Chelsea transfer. We'll give you about what's going on with Arsenal as well, and I'll give you a bit of an update on what's going on with my club, Manchester United, as well. So let's cut straight to the chase. So reportedly, as we all know, Sarri is looking to bolster his squad, as we all know, because potentially, quite a few players, could be leaving Chelsea, as we all currently know. That's why he's probably going out on loan to Monaco. They've already lost Fabregas, so obviously Chelsea are in the market for the replacement for Cesc Fabregas. Obviously, David Luiz, his contract is up in summer, but Chelsea obviously have got a policy, as I did say, of only giving, players, 12-month contracts, players who are the age 30 or over. Potentially as well, Callum Hudson could be going, Morata's going to be definitely going, as we all currently know. So potentially, Chelsea obviously will want to find replacements, as I currently said, because they got Jorginho for last summer, they got Kepa for £72 million last summer as well in goal, but potentially he's looking to bolster his squad up, Miss Sarri, as we all know. So latest news to update you with Morata. So we know potentially Chelsea are keen on sanctioning him on loan. I think Chelsea are also keen on a club to match his entire £9 million per season he currently receives with Chelsea. So reportedly there's been a host of clubs interested in Morata. So reportedly Bayern Munich have been interested in, Barcelona have also been interested in, AC Milan have been interested in, Sevilla have also been interesting, but reportedly now Sevilla have dropped out of the race because potentially Morata's agent was in discussion with the Sevilla representatives, and from Sevilla's perspective and the directors confirmed, Chelsea's financial demands are impossible to meet, according to the Sevilla director. So reportedly now they've opted out in the race, for Alvaro Morata, but I want to leave Stamford Bridge because potentially, he hasn't made an impact, since he's gone to Stamford Bridge. Chelsea paid £60 million for him, and obviously he's no longer Sarri's number one choice, as we all know, and he has potentially fallen down the pecking order. And as we all know, Sarri has been potentially going with Eden Hazard in a false number 9 position. Recently in the Premier League, as I said, there's been talks that Olivier Giroud could leave as well, because potentially, it says Barcelona reportedly, interested in Giroud as well, because potentially Barcelona looking to bolster their front line. As I said, so he will need reinforcements, Sarri, but as I did say, Morata's out of favour at Stamford Bridge, as we all know. But potentially reports coming out saying that he's interested in making the move to Athletico Madrid, because reportedly Atletico Madrid have been in negotiations with Chelsea about potentially, getting the deal over the line. Chelsea, of course, from their perspective, want to sanction him out on loan. Obviously, Chelsea's main priority target to replace him is Gonzalo Higuain, but reportedly Atletico Madrid interested in him. Maybe for the a few of these clubs, as I did say, his wage could be a problem, reportedly for Atletico Madrid. But reportedly, it did say that Alvaro Morata is willing to take a pay cut, reportedly, but he didn't demand a pay cut, from the other clubs, that were linked to him. But reportedly, he's demanded he'll accept a pay cut, to join Atletico Madrid. Reportedly, he's on about £9 million per season. He's willing to take a pay cut, reportedly, is Alvaro Morata, and potentially he's highly experienced at playing in Spain, because, he played Spain, in Spain when he was young in his prime, and he did very, very well, spent majority of his playing career with, Real Madrid. He had 2 good years in Italy as well, but he hasn't established himself in the Premier League. And at Atletico Madrid, he actually began his youth career with Atletico Madrid, did Alvaro Morata, obviously, when he was a lot younger in his prime. So reportedly, he's keen on making the move to Atletico Madrid, because potentially the player has been in Madrid, to have potential negotiations about going there. But Madrid, it's been confirmed today that Atletico Madrid have been in talks, as I currently said. So potentially Morata's out of favour at Stamford Bridge. He isn't been getting the game time that he wants. I thought he had a good start to the 2017-18 season, did Morata, but, since Sarri's been recommended in, he hasn't really had the opportunity to prove himself, and when he has been playing, he hasn't been playing to his potential level, so he hasn't hit the heights at Stamford Bridge, Alvaro Morata. But as I did say, there's a host of clubs that have been interested, including Barcelona, including Bayern Munich, as we all currently know. Maybe Chelsea may recommend a fee, if he's to go, maybe the half of his £140,000 a week wages he's currently receiving at Stamford Bridge. But reportedly there's a few Chelsea fans, that have been potentially, recalling, that they want Diego Costa back, because potentially he was a very, very good player for Chelsea. But since he's gone to Atletico Madrid, as I said, he hasn't really made an impact as Diego Costa. But potentially from Atletico Madrid's perspective, they could see, Morata as a potential replacement for Diego Costa. That's if Diego Costa, leaves Atletico Madrid. So potentially that's the latest news about that. And we know there's been talks going on in the media, and as Higuain and Alvaro Morata as a potential swap deal. reportedly got refused. So we know potentially Chelsea's main priority target is Morata. Is Gonzalo Higuain, as we all know. So potentially it's confirmed in the media that Juventus and AC Milan are set to have negotiations about this. More talks will be going on between Juventus and AC Milan regarding Gonzalo Higuain's future. But as potentially Gonzalo Higuain has confirmed from his own perspective, he's handed in a transfer request, and he has confirmed as Gonzalo Higuain he does want to make the move to Stamford Bridge, as he has currently confirmed, because he's asked AC Milan if he can leave and join Chelsea. I think the AC Milan boss is reportedly still keen on keeping Gonzalo Higuain, but it has confirmed because there has been negotiations going on, and reportedly Chelsea have been inquiring about getting him on loan. Reportedly Chelsea have been in negotiations with both AC Milan and Juventus over this. Reportedly said Juventus have turned down the 6-month loan offer from Chelsea. The latest one reportedly said to turn an 18-month loan offer from Chelsea as well, because they are potentially keen on getting the loan. I don't think Juventus are willing to go along with this unless Chelsea commit to making the deal permanent. After they get Gonzalo Higuain on loan. Whether Chelsea will be getting him on a 6-month loan, whether they'll be getting him on an 18-month loan, I do not know. But reportedly Chelsea are keen on either getting him on a 6-month loan or an 18-month loan. Reportedly, so if Chelsea were to get him on a 6-month loan, potentially they probably have the obligation to make the deal permanent in the summer, which would potentially cost around £32 million. But if Chelsea were to get him on an 18-month loan, reportedly the Metro reported that it could cost up to £48 million in the region. The loan fee would cost around £24 million, plus his salary for the 18 months as well, as I currently said. But Juventus have reportedly turned these loans down. They've reportedly they've put a block on of Chelsea making a move for him, reportedly. But recent reports, obviously Higuain's agent, Hanny's brother, has been to London to negotiate a deal over this, as I currently said, and he does want to make the move to Stamford Bridge, does Gonzalo Higuain, because potentially he does want to reunite with Sarri, as we all know. But potentially, as I did say, the Chelsea board and the Chelsea director, got concern, as we all know. So the Chelsea director has got strong reservations about this, as I currently said, because potentially policy of only, giving 12-month contracts, to players who are age 30. And I think, the director's, concerned, and the board of Chelsea, considering that he is 31 years of age, is Gonzalo Higuain, and maybe concerned that, if Chelsea paying, that amount of money, for the player. Sarri wants him. It's Sarri's number one main priority target, to get in, Chelsea Football Club, and I think he'd deliver the goods at Chelsea Football Club, and I think he'd deliver the goods very, very well for Chelsea. He's good at leading the lines. He can score goals. He hasn't found his form there with AC Milan, as we all know. And currently AC Milan paid £16 million for him on loan. They do have the option to make the deal permanent in this summer, for around £30 million. As he currently said. But, he was very, very good when he was younger in his prime. He had 6 good years with Real Madrid, and, he had 3 fantastic years with Napoli. He scored 36 goals in one season. He broke a Serie A record. Potentially had 2 good years with Juventus as well. Most expensive South American of all time until Neymar went to PSG, and his transfer fees were the highest paid until Ronaldo currently went in, because now his transfer fees are the highest paid, because obviously he's the highest paid player now at Juventus, but his transfer fees were the highest paid before Ronaldo, of course, joined Juventus last summer, as I said. But he hasn't really made the impact at AC Milan, as I currently said. But as I did say, Gonzalo Higuain does want to make the move. But furthermore talks, are going to be, happening in the process. Furthermore talks are going to be happening, between AC Milan and Juventus, regarding Higuain's future. As I said, Sarri's keen on reuniting with the player, as I currently said, guys. So potentially I've got a few other, players that they're interested in. If they do fail, with their signing of Gonzalo Higuain, we know potentially that who else has been mentioned? Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson's been very, very impressive for Bournemouth, to be quite honest. He's Premier League proven, but I don't think, Eddie Howe's willing to do any business, as I said. And potentially we know that Icardi has also been mentioned in the press. He's been mentioned, quite a few times in the press as Icardi as well. Potentially he's a great, great goal scorer. And maybe the Chelsea director and Chelsea board would potentially maybe prefer a move for Icardi, as I currently said, because potentially he's younger than Gonzalo Higuain. Gonzalo Higuain's more experienced and potentially, a better player, as I say. But Icardi's a prolific goal scorer. He's Inter Milan's 9th highest top goal scorer of all time, as I said. He's scored over 100 odd goals, since he's been there. So he's been in Italy and he's been with Inter Milan, a number of years now. And he's scored like 130 odd goals in his career. I think the majority of them, about 120 odd of them, have come at Inter Milan. As I said, I think he's got around the 99 or is it 100 million release clause in his current Inter Milan deal. But he's good in the attacking further of the pitch. He leads the lines very, very well. His finishing's very, very good. And he's an efficient finisher. Is this player, but he's been potentially, spoken about in the media as well. But reports have been coming out today. As I said, this could be good news as well for Chelsea, because they could be still on brink of getting Gonzalo Higuain, as I said. But Chelsea are wanting to finalise terms with Juventus, of course, over this. But Chelsea have been in heavy negotiations, but they are finding it difficult, to come to an agreement with Juventus at the moment, as we all know. But potentially Chelsea are also trying to find a replacement for Cesc Fabregas, as we all currently know, because now he's obviously joined Monaco on a 3-year deal. He was in the Premier League with Cesc Fabregas, as I said, 13 years. Said 13 years, grew and developed, and potentially made over 500 appearances now in the Premier League. But obviously he's now gone to reunite with Thierry Henry, as we all know. So potentially, as Sarri's explained, that Jorginho will struggle, as he has currently confirmed, as I said. Jorginho will struggle. So he wants someone in that midfield, to replace Cesc Fabregas. So he wants someone in that midfield, to replace Cesc Fabregas, as it has currently confirmed, guys. So potentially today, reports have been coming out that Chelsea are currently on the brink of signing Leandro Paredes, the current Zenit St. Petersburg midfielder. Well, he said in the Daily Telegraph the other week, a report reported on it saying Chelsea had agreed deals for both Nicola Barella and Leandro Paredes, as I currently said. And Chelsea have been linked to both players, of course, as I said. But this Nicolas Barella, as I said, he's 21 years of age. He's Italian, very, very young in his prime, as I said. But between Leandro Paredes and Nicola Barella, Leandro Paredes is more experienced. And I don't know if he's a better player, but he's more experienced, older than Nicola Barella, as we all know. But Nicola Barella, I think he's got a contract with Cagliari till 2022. His versatility is very, very good in the midfield, to be quite fair, because he actually can operate anywhere in the midfield. But I think his favoured position is on the right-hand side, and potentially he's got a good wide range of skills, as this, Nicola Barella, as I said. It said reportedly we've been interested as well, my club, Manchester United. But as I did he has confirmed he's not willing to leave Cagliari, midway through the season. So now Chelsea are more likely to get a deal over the line for Leandro Paredes. So reports have been coming out from the media today. Reports have been coming out from the media today, reported that Chelsea have agreed personal terms for the player. Reportedly, this is Leandro Paredes, the Zenit St. Petersburg midfielder, 24 years of age, Argentinian. Reportedly, Chelsea have agreed personal terms for the player. They've agreed a contract for the player, but yet a fee has not come to an agreement yet between Chelsea and Zenit St. Petersburg. Chelsea have been in negotiations with Zenit St. Petersburg over this. I think from the player's perspective, he's keen on leaving Zenit St. Petersburg, but reportedly the terms have been agreed, the contract's been agreed. I think the contract's until 2023. I think it's a 4.5-year deal. I think a 4.5-year deal's been agreed. I think Chelsea are willing to give him £80,000 a week salary as well. And I think the annual salary is around 4.5 million, or is it 5 million per year, or something like that. But yeah, a fee has not been agreed yet. But reportedly, Zenit St. Petersburg are demanding in the region that they want around £36 million to the player. Reportedly, it has confirmed that Chelsea put an opening bidding of just under 30 million. Reportedly got turned down. And reportedly now Chelsea have put a new bid in it, I think just over the £30 million. But yeah, a bid is to be accepted, for this player. I think he's made like 60 odd appearances in all competitions, since he's been at Zenit, this Leandro Paredes. But what he tweeted out the other day in the media, putting a welcome to Chelsea video on Twitter, could stir suggestions up, and it could be a significant sign that he does want to make the move to Stamford Bridge. He's 24 years of age. You think he'll grow and develop, very, very well under Sarri, this Leandro Paredes. But I think Chelsea are going to come to an agreement for the play, because reportedly the contract's been agreed, the personal terms have been agreed. But I think, they're still negotiating, Chelsea and Zenit St. Petersburg, to come to an agreement with a fee. Zenit St. Petersburg have said they want £36 million for the player, because he does want to leave Russia. You know, he's obviously played for Empoli in the past. I think he was on loan there. He played for Chevio in the past as well. He actually played for Roma as well, and that's actually, you know, where Zenit St. Petersburg got him from for, I think, for around 21 million. Was it 21? Was it 23, 24 million pounds, something like that? But obviously they're looking to gain about a 10 million pound profit as Zenit St. Petersburg, and he actually began his youth career with Boca Juniors, the Dislinjo Paredes. But reports are coming out saying that Chelsea are on the brink of getting the play, so it's looking likely, you know, they have found the replacement for Cesc Fabregas, as I said. But potentially, as I did say, you know, Gary Cahill, I think, is going to be leaving as well, Chelsea, because obviously he's linked with a move to Fulham as well. You know, I think David Luiz, Chelsea are in, you know, negotiations to sign him a contract extension. He could be going in the summer, you know, when his contract comes to a conclusion, David Luiz. So he may, you know, contract comes to a conclusion, David Luiz. So he may, you know, want a replacement in his defensive line. Will Sarri will want to, you know, add depth and, you know, strengthen his defensive lineup. As I currently said. So, yeah, that's potentially, you know, Chelsea's latest transfer rumours to update you with. I've already given you the update, of course, haven't I, on Callum Hudson, as I currently said. I've already given you the update on Callum Hudson, as I said, because we know he's linked with a move to Bayern Munich, but I don't think there's been any more information about that recently, you know, to be quite fair. So, potentially we'll get to my club now, Manchester United. So more reports have been coming out about Manchester United today, you know, as I have been reading up in the media, because as I did say to you guys, you know, these key areas in our squad, you know, where we do potentially, you know, need to strengthen up. Obviously our objective is now to get that top 4 this season. That is our target, and I think Solskjaer will elevate us to that high level, to be quite honest here. But as I did say, our target this season is to get in the top 4. We're 6 points behind. We've caught Arsenal up. We're level on points with Arsenal, and hopefully, you know, next season, you know, get us back up there competing, you know, for major honours, and, you know, get us up there competing and challenging for major honours, and get us up there competing with the likes of City and Liverpool. And that's our level. That's what level we want to get to, and I think we can, you know, do that next season, you know, as I currently said. But we're definitely, you know, in the top 4 this season. I think we've still got a great chance, you know, of winning the FA Cup this season, you know, to be quite honest with you. But as I did say, you know, we have still got a lot of players, you know, coming to the end of the contracts. As we all know, that does need addressing. As I did say, there's key areas in our squad, you know, that still needs strengthening up. We need a central defender. We need a central defender. We need a defensive midfielder that's fast and tenacious, because as I did say, Matic is dramatically improved under Solskjaer. He's slow. I have reservations about him, but we need a centre defensive mid, you know, that's fast and tenacious. We need a right, you know, we need someone on the right, because all our attack is coming from the left-hand side, as we all currently know. But as it has you know, been coming out in the media today, as I did say, you know, Solskjaer reportedly now is the favoured, you know, to get the job on a full-time basis at Manchester United, because potentially Ed Woodward has congratulated Solskjaer, you know, for his impressive start at the club, and, you know, that impressive win against Tottenham Hotspur. As I said, you know, it's 6 wins out of 6 now, 17 goals scored, 3 clean sheets, so you couldn't ask for more. And, you know, he's the first manager to win his first 6 games, so potentially he has beaten Sir Matt Busby's record as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But he knows the culture of the club, he knows the trappings of the club, and he knows the club inside out as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he has got that winning mentality. As I said, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's got the winning mentality. He doesn't rest on his laurels. He shows the inspiration, and he likes the attacking philosophy. And as I did say, you know, he likes the whip as well. Does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I said. But now reportedly he's favoured now to get the job on a full-time basis at Manchester United. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know, he has been coming out saying he doesn't expect us to make any signs in this January window. He says it's unlikely we'll make any signs in this January window, but potentially we all know that we know, you know, potentially do need signings. But what Solskjaer's brought to his team, he's brought the fear factor back. He's got us playing the United way that we used to play under Alex Ferguson. And I think the difference is, you know, when one of his players have got the ball, he sees a 15-20 yard run ahead of him, as we all know. Ahead of him, we're playing at a much faster pace, we're creating more chances, we're getting bodies in decent positions, as I said, getting fullbacks high up the pitch. You know, Pogba's getting the freedom to express himself more. The front, you know, men are getting, you know, freedom, you know, to interchange closer together. The movement's improved, the combinations improved, as I said, and potentially, you know, he's going with a system that actually suits these players, as I said, because I think we look very effective if you've got Herrera, Matic and Pogba in midfield, and we look very effective if, you know, we look very effective effective, when we've, got, Martial on left who creates that width very, very well. And he's very, very influential, Anthony Martial on that left-hand side. I think potentially, Rashford's very, very effective in the number 9 position, to be quite honest with you. And he's been in United players since the age of 7, so he has progressed up the ranks fantastically well. And I think he's made about 150 appearances now for us. Oh, it's nearly 150 appearances. Lingard on the right, opposites himself very, very well. As I currently said, so them front three look very, very effective. As I said, but as I did say, regarding Romelu Lukaku, as I did say, he has improved when he has been playing, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He did score in his last 3 games before Tottenham, as I did say, but he is slow, but he is a proven goal scorer in the Premier League. I think he's scored about 45 goals for Belgium as well as Lukaku. But as I did say, in our front line, he just doesn't complement our front line, Romelu Lukaku. If you've got Rashford playing around you and Martial and Lingard and all that, and them who've got pace and that, Lukaku has not got pace, so he just doesn't complement our front line. So potentially, I think he's best used as a substitution. Is Romelu Lukaku with Alexis. Obviously, we've got the likes of Martial, Rashford and Lingard that are taking, Lukaku and Sanchez's roles and shirts anywhere, as we all could know. Sanchez has got pace and he can press high up the pitch, but he's just failed to adapt himself since he's come to United. He's on £500,000 a week and he's had injury problems, since he's been here as well. He had a long injury before. He's currently now injured again. Is Alexis Sanchez, but as I did confirm you guys, I think there will be players leaving. Have just been coming out in the media, actually, to update you on about Marian Fellaini, because I just don't see how he complements our midfield, Marian Fellaini. I just don't see how he's going to fit in this new system and new regime at Manchester United, under the management of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Reportedly, Solskjaer is willing to sanction him off for around £15 million, reportedly. Marian Fellaini, he has been here since 2013, so I think this is his 6th season. We got him in the David Moyes era for £27 million, Marian Fellaini. But potentially, regarding Fellaini, as I said, I think he's made over 150 appearances as Marian Fellaini. I think he's won the FA Cup and he's won the FA Cup and I think he's won the FA Cup here and he's won the FA Cup and the League Cup, has he? Marian Fellaini here, and he's won the Europa League, of course, as well as Marian Fellaini. But he's a very, very static midfielder, very, very slow indeed. As obviously, he's not going to be our first choice in our midfielder. So in time, he doesn't complement the likes of Pogba and the likes of Herrera and all that. He doesn't complement them at all, Marian Fellaini, and he doesn't even complement Matic. Even though Matic and Fellaini are both slow. But I think Matic is better than Marian Fellaini because Matic is slow. His distribution's improved under Solskjaer. He's a good passer with the ball, is Matic, but I think he's better than Marian Fellaini, without a doubt. And reportedly, it says AC Milan have been interested in him, Porto, and I think a few other teams have been interested in Marian Fellaini, of course. But I think he will be going because I think Solskjaer does want to get rid of him, as it has confirmed. Wait there, guys. I've lost some. I'll just get some. Got it. As it has confirmed, so I think he will be going. Sorry about that, Marian Fellaini. I also think potentially, Matteo Darmian's going to be going as well because he hasn't been getting the game time this season, as I said, and obviously Luke Shaw's our first choice left back. So I do think potentially, guys, that Darmian will be leaving the club as well. I don't see how Valencia's got a future here, as I said, because obviously Ashley Young's our number one choice right back now, even though Ashley Young's 33, Antonio Valencia's 33, so they are coming to the end of the careers soon, both players. But obviously Ashley Young's our number one choice at right back, but if he doesn't start young, he'll obviously be Diego Dalot in. He's 19 years of age, he'll be Diego Dalot in at that right back position. But obviously Valencia's out of favour. He's hardly played this season for Manchester United, but he has grown and developed very, very well, Antonio Valencia, and he used to be our essential right back, but I think he was injured early on in the season, as we all know. He's 33. He's won everything here, of course, apart from the Champions League. He has been here now 10 years as Antonio Valencia, and he's age 33, as I said, and I think he's made over 300 appearances in all competitions. And as I did say, Ashley Young's 33 now. Obviously, we're in talks of securing him a new contract with Manchester United as well. Ashley Young, we've failed to come to an agreement so far. But Ashley Young's obviously our first choice right back, as we all currently know. And we know potentially we're in talks of getting new contracts, for Ander Herrera and Juan Mata as well. There were talks about that in the press the other day as well. There were talks about that the other day as well, getting Juan Mata and Herrera new contracts at the club as well. But yeah, so potentially what's being reported that reportedly Solskjaer is now the favourite to get the job at Manchester United. I think he'll do very, very well at this club. So he said he'd love the job on a full-time basis to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he said it would be hard for him to leave Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as he did confirm. But he's only had a bit of managerial experience, of course. He didn't do so well with Cardiff. He won 2 Norwegian titles with Molde, but I think he'll do very, very well with Manchester United. I think he's the right man. As I said, he's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he just knows Manchester United. He knows his tactics. He knows his lineups. We're playing more direct, more forward thinking, and potentially he's put the confidence in the team. He's got the team motivated. He's got the players expressing themselves. As he said, when he first, when he got appointed, to the club, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's interim manager. But he'd love the job on a full-time basis, as he has confirmed. He said he was going to meet up with Ed Woodward, to discuss about this January window. As he currently said, but we know Pochettino's been mentioned in the press. There's been talks about Pochettino, coming in. As I said, he signed a 5-year deal last summer with Tottenham. It was last year, as we all know. But he's been potentially Mauricio Pochettino's. He's been Ed Woodward's number 1 choice. To come in at Manchester United on a full-time basis at the end of the season. But according to recent reports, that could be in jeopardy now. That could be jeopardised now, reportedly, because according to the Tottenham chairman Danny Lever, he has currently confirmed as Danny Lever, he is not willing to let Pochettino leave Tottenham and join Manchester United. Even if we were to offer in excess of £50 million, reported, and I think he's got strong reservations about leaving Tottenham anywhere. As Mauricio Pochettino, I think he's got strong reservations about leaving. I think he feels happy at Tottenham. He's fully committed to Tottenham. He's still got a new stadium coming up. Obviously, as a manager, he hasn't won out in terms of silverware, and he's looking to still win his first major honour. Pochettino reportedly confirmed the other week that Man United were in talks. Ed Woodward were in transfer talks with Mauricio Pochettino, but he has been managing since 2009. He's only spent £50 million at Tottenham since 2014, but I think he's good at developing young players, and he understands the Premier League, and he has a good philosophy. Does Mauricio Pochettino, but he was our number 1. But obviously now we have discarded that, and now Solskjaer is the front runner to get the job on a full-time basis, which he would, take in a breath. Would Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as he currently said. But we know potentially, the players we are linked with. So potentially, we're all aware we need a central defender, as we all know, as it has confirmed in the media. So potentially, we know his number 1 priority target is Koulibaly, because as I did say, he adapts every area of his game very, very, very well, very tenacious, very, very good in the air. As I said, he'd be a fantastic signing for us, as we all know. Carlo Ancelotti has reportedly come out in the press, the Napoli boss, and suggested, due to his racial abuse, he will not be forced out of the club. Reportedly according to Carlo Ancelotti. But I think from Koulibaly's perspective, he doesn't want to be at Napoli anymore, as he has confirmed. I don't think he wants to be there. He's unsettled in Italy now. I think potentially majority of it's because of the racial abuse he suffered on Boxing Day. He's been in Italy a number of years now with Napoli. He's grown and developed very, very well. He is 27 years of age. He's rated at around 90, £100 million is this player, and I think he's keen on making the move to Old Trafford, and he'd dramatically improve our defensive line very, very well, and he'd be a good leader in our defensive line, because we need someone at the back alongside Lindelof, the likes of Lindelof and Bailly as well. Bailly's got great potential, but he's hardly been playing this season for us, and you've got Lindelof, I think, dramatically improved this season as well. I think Koulibaly would fit the Manchester United agenda very, very well, and I know some people say he's overrated, and so far we've been in talks, and so far we've had 3 bids in the process, turned down. The recent one was 95 million, and he's got a contract with them till 2023, of course, and reportedly Real Madrid have also been interested in the play, but Napoli paid £7 million for him from Genk, so they're basically paid no they played next to him. You know, he's currently worth around 90, 100 million pounds now, and we've got the financial power, you know, to meet that valuation. Obviously, he's our priority number one target. Is Koulibaly, as we all know, but we have, of course, been heavily linked with him, as we all know. But I just don't think he wants to be at Napoli anymore. But the Napoli president has confirmed they're reportedly not willing to do any business in this January transfer window. As we all know. So he's our number one target. You know, reports have been coming out as well about Inter Milan's Milan Skriniar today. Reportedly, he's been mentioned. Reportedly, we've been heavily linked with him. He's Slovakian. He's 23 years of age, so potentially he's 4 years younger than Koulibaly. He's Milan Skriniar, as we all know. So potentially, according to the media, as I said, reportedly Luis Spell has come out, you know, the Inter Milan boss, reportedly, and he said no one can afford Milan Skriniar. He said his price is out of everyone's range. He will be staying here as he's confirmed. He's staying here as he's confirmed as the Inter Milan boss. And he says nobody can afford Milan Skriniar because reportedly he's rated at around 70 odd million pounds. Reportedly, the Italian press reported the other day that we'd put around a 54 million pound bidding for Milan Skriniar, reportedly. But as I said, I think he's still got 3 years left on his Inter Milan deal, as I said. But potentially, yeah, he's a good player. He can play as a central defender. He can also play as a defensive midfielder as well, can Milan Skriniar. He's Slovakian. I think he's made 6 odd appearances since he's been at Inter Milan, you know, since 2017. But he's been a potential target, you know, for us as well, as Milan Skriniar. As I said, and he's a good player. He is a good player. He's Milan Skriniar. He's got good physical attributes, as I said. But there has been talks about him as well, and there has been talks about Milan Skriniar. As I said, there has been a lot of talks about him, and potentially we know that Eder Militao's been mentioned in the press as well. Only young, 20 years of age. Porto player's only been at Porto since last summer. Versatility, very, very good. Can play as a defensive mid and a centre-back. And I think he's predominantly a right-back, you know, the player, you know, to be quite honest with you, said in Militao. We've been keeping a track on him as well. Reportedly, he's got a 40-odd million release clause in his current deal. I think he's got 4 years left on his deal with Porto as the player. He is Brazilian. He's very, very young in his prime, so it would be good for him, you know, to come and experience the Premier League. Eder Militao. Reportedly, there's been quite a few teams interested in Eder Militao, as we all currently know. So there has, you know, been a few teams, you know, monitoring an interest in him as well, Eder Militao. We know Toby Alderweireld's another target. You know, we have been linked with Tottenham's Toby Alderweireld as well. Well, Premier League proven, as I said, and obviously Tottenham have extended his current contract till 2020, so he has got a 25 million release clause for the summer as Alderweireld, and potentially we have been linked with him. We was obviously in discussions last summer of trying to get Toby Alderweireld on the board, and he is Premier League proven, as I said. I do have reservations about him. I think he does have some weaknesses because he is aging up now. He is 29 years of age, and he's 2 years older than Koulibaly, so we wouldn't get as long as Toby Alderweireld as, you know, as we would, you know, Koulibaly. And obviously, Toby Alderweireld's nowhere near on the same levels as Koulibaly anyway, nowhere near the same calibre or level as Koulibaly, but he's still a good central defender. He can be a world-class central defender, but he needs to adjust his game a little bit more, in my opinion, does Toby Alderweireld, but he can be a world-class central defender. And 25 million, you know, next summer is quite reasonable, as a reasonable fee, you know, for Toby Alderweireld. As I said, I think he complement our backline very, very well because he knows the Premier League, don't forget. He knows the Premier League very, very well, as I said, but he's now 29 years of age. He's Alderweireld, don't forget. So potentially, you know, we have been linked with him as well. So, you know, we've heard about Costas Manolas as well. You know, we've also been linked with Costas Manolas as well. You know, there's been talks about that as well. So we have heard, you know, the news about Costas Manolas. We have been linked with that Roma central defender as well. So we are linked, you know, with a lot of central defenders because that's potentially, you know, one of the key areas, you know, where we do need to strengthen up in our squad. As we all know, that is definitely, you know, one of the key areas. But potentially, we know the news still keeps coming out about Philip Coutinho, you know, because reports have been coming out about Philip Coutinho. And it says reportedly we are still linked with Barcelona's Philip Coutinho because essentially he hasn't hit the height since he's gone in Spain, you know, with Barcelona. He's been with Barcelona for 1 year now because obviously, you know, Barcelona got him from Liverpool last January for what, £142 million. He's the third most expensive player in world football, is Philip Coutinho. is Philippe Coutinho. As I said, Barcelona, as I said, paid £142 million. I don't think he's considering making a move anywhere. He's a Coutinho in this January window, but obviously he's been lacking game time. He hasn't been getting enough games under his belt, and he hasn't really been getting the opportunity. And he hasn't really made an impact at Barcelona as he did do at Liverpool. He was fantastic at Liverpool. He had 5 good years with them. He grew and developed, and he flourished very, very well with Liverpool. Did Philippe Coutinho, as we all know, and he did very, very well. And you can play him in. His versatility is good because you can play him as attacking mid, and you can play him as a second striker. You can play him on each flank as well, so you can play him on the left and you can play him on the right. So I think his preferred position is that attacking midfield position. I think that's where we would actually play him. If a move did happen, with him coming to Manchester United, I don't think it will happen, but it's essentially Man United have been in talks with Barcelona over this as well. I don't think his family are keen on making a return to England yet. From their perspective, as I said. But reportedly, I think he's rated at around over £100 million definitely. So it would cost us in the excess of over £100 million because potentially he has got a long contract with Barcelona, as we all know. But he is a very, very good player. And he was Premier League proven because he had 5 good years with Liverpool, did Coutinho, as we all know. Obviously, he used to, when he was young in his prime, he's 26 now, so he's in his mid-20s, he's Brazilian, of course. And when he was young in his prime, he played under Pochettino, when he was on loan with Espanyol. And, Liverpool only paid, £8.6 million for him from Milan, so they did gain a big, massive profit, as I said. But Liverpool turned him into a fantastic player, as I said. But he hasn't really made the impact at Barcelona. He hasn't lived up to expectations. As I did say, so that's all the players we're potentially linked to it. I think now we are keen on selling Marian Fellaini for around £15 million because he doesn't complement this team, as I said, because he's too slow, he's weak, and I think he's poor. He really is poor, and he doesn't complement our midfield, and I just don't see how he's going to fit in this new Manchester United regime, to be quite honest with you. But even Solskjaer's perspective, he wants to sell Marian Fellaini, as he has confirmed, as I said. But yeah, that's really everything to update today. I said I was going to be updating you on Arsenal's transfer news, didn't I, on this video? We will update you on Arsenal's transfer news on a current separate video. I said I'd do it, but we'll do it on a separate video anyway, because I've got to go off my tea now. We'll be back maybe soon or tomorrow, with some more Arsenal's transfer rumors. But as I did update you at the beginning of the video with Alvaro Morata, what's going on with Alvaro Morata, as we all know. Reportedly now, Atletico Madrid are favoured to get him. He actually began his youth career with Atletico Madrid, as we all know, did Morata. But reports are stemming from the media now that reportedly Morata is willing to take a pay cut, to join Atletico Madrid after he's been in Madrid to have the negotiations, and Chelsea have been in negotiations with Atletico Madrid over this. As I said, maybe it did say some reports his actual wages receiving at Chelsea, could be a problem for other teams, to get him out on loan. Maybe Chelsea are keen on, his entire salary, a team taking his entire $9 million salary. That's what Chelsea may be keen on, as I said. But reportedly he's willing to join Atletico Madrid in a he's willing to join Atletico Madrid in a cut price, as we all currently know, as it has confirmed. But he didn't suggest a cut deal, with the other teams, that have been linked with Alvaro Morata, as we all know. Sevilla have opted out of it, as I said, because potentially from Silla's perspective, Chelsea's financial demands are reportedly. Chelsea's financial demands are impossible to meet, as Sevilla confirmed. So I think Morata will be leaving, as I said, but he's willing to take a cut. He's willing to take a cut deal. Is the current player, as I said. So that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes, below on the channel if you do consider subscribing.